the good deed I thought I was doing for him, he ended up doing a good deed for me, right? So every Tuesday, I started chasing that feeling of doing good deeds.
Hi, welcome to Fit Kids Conversations. I'm your host, David Jacobson, and I'm here today with Major Wright. Played a big role in Florida's success in football in the early 2000s and went on to have a great NFL career as well. He was a hard-hitting safety, so we can say he has impact on and off the field now with his foundation and its work for youth. Major, welcome.
Thank you, Dave, for having me. And Fit Kids, thank you guys for providing this platform for us to be on.
Absolutely. So can you start off with telling us a little bit about your childhood leading up to the NFL?
I'm born and raised in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I grew up in a neighborhood called Lauderdale Manors. And in my neighborhood was rough growing up, where, we had gun violence, drugs being sold across the street. On the corner, we used to gamble, a lot of a lot of gang stuff used to happen. But growing up, I didn't know that that wasn't regular because that's all I knew. So for me, I ended up getting exposed to football. So football ended up giving me a outlet to, provide myself with a certain talent that can put me in a position. So I got really good at football, and I ended up going to St. Thomas Aquinas High School, which is one of the best high schools, I say, out, right? But we are definitely top five high schools, right? We currently right now have the most NFL players in a league, right? So that lets you know we have some amazing talent. So for me, I ended up going to St. Thomas Aquinas, and St. Thomas Aquinas is a Catholic school. And growing up, I never knew anything about St. Thomas Aquinas, right? So for me to go there, it was like going to a foreign country, right? So me going back and forth to school, it gave me a different perspective on life, right? Because once I'm in school, I see so much other things, right? I'm exposed to so many other things and so many opportunities and people that's actually going after, life, right? But then I go back home, right? And it's a whole totally different world, to where it's like, you know, the motivation is totally different, they're hustling to provide for their family, and then in this school, you have wealthy people, taking care of their kids. So for me, it was like, wow, I get to see both sides. So I ended up becoming one of the best safeties, coming out of 2007 class, right? I had a scholarship at every college you can name. I was definitely top two safeties in the nation, and a five-star recruit. I ended up going to the University of Florida, right? I spent 3 years at the University of Florida. I won a national championship there in 2008, which is arguably one of the best teams to ever play college football. And right now we have a Netflix documentary called Swamp King. So if you guys haven't seen that, that's something that you could really go watch and see the work that we put in and how well we made sure we held each other accountable and what it takes to be a champion,
Yeah,
right?
we saw a little bit of that. I'm sorry to interrupt
That's okay.
and they showed, this major hit, pardon the pun, on that receiver over and over. And you talking about it, you do the play-by-play. I highly recommend people watch this.
It teaches you so many valuable lessons about life too, how you can go after anything in life that you want to. As long as you put your mind to it, you build the right team, anything is possible to happen, and with me being a part of one of the greatest teams, I made sure I did my part, right? I held myself accountable, right? So whenever I did have an opportunity to make my play, I was going to make my play. And just like we just talked about in the national championship game, that was one of the biggest plays that could ever be made in that moment, you know? So for
Sure.
me to be able to capitalize off that was just amazing. It was amazing. It was a great opportunity to make a statement of how we was going to be there the rest of this game, you know?
So, you move on to the NFL from that, a lot of
Yep,
credibility, a lot of connections, right? And that
yep.
enables you to do what you're doing now. Can you talk about the genesis of the foundation and what the mission is and all that?
After I played 7 years in the NFL, I played 4 years with Chicago Bears, then went to Tampa Bay and played 3 years with Tampa. So once my NFL career was over, two years removed from the NFL, I ended up going completely broke, right? And then with me going completely broke, that added depression, right? And then at one point in my life, I almost committed suicide, you know, to that point, you know.
Hmm.
So me sleeping on the floor, me sleeping on couches, me sleeping house to house, you know, that was happening to me, you know. And one day I had just got done working out, and I seen a homeless guy laying on the ground. I walked past him and then I stopped. And I'm like, man, I haven't done anything good for anybody lately. So I went back to the homeless guy and I woke him up. I'm like, hey, man, can I take you to get something to eat? And he was like, sure. You know, I wanted to know why he was in that situation. And then two, what it felt like to just be laying on this ground outside. And then three, you know, what it feels like to have somebody walk by you and act like they don't know you. And he was like, Major, the reason I'm in this situation, I did 10 years in prison. When I got out, I had nobody to lean on. I'm like, wow, like I'm going through what I'm going through, but I've accumulated so many resources along my way, right? I got St. Thomas Aquinas, I got the University of Florida, I got Chicago Bears, I got Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you know, and I've never burnt any bridge. So I still could go back and reach, you know, and get help. But this guy has nobody. So that rocked me. And in the middle of the conversation, I said, hey, bro, what can I do to help you right now? And he was like, right now, I'm trying to get my ID. If I get my ID, I'll be able to get a job. If I get a job, I'll be able to provide for myself. So I was like, wow, okay, this man just need a plastic ID to change the trajectory of his life.
Mm.
So I say, listen, I got a couple dollars in my account. I'm going to give it to you on faith. You're going to do right by it. I go to the ATM, I give him the money. And when I leave, my whole entire life changed. The good deed I thought I was doing for him, he ended up doing a good deed for me, right? So every Tuesday, I started chasing that feeling of doing good deeds. So every Tuesday, I took it upon myself to go out in the community and I started doing random acts of kindness, right? Because I was chasing that feeling of doing that good deed too, that good deed. So then I end up creating my character called Mr. GDT, Good Deed Tuesday. He goes out in the community every Tuesday and he activates his powers by doing good deeds. So for every good deed he does, something good happens in his life, right? So right
Beautiful.
now he's on a mission to build a community to get people to understand how important it is to be kind, to care, and to share with one another, right? So I created this character to help push kindness, to help our kids, and this character can lead our kids to making kind be cool, right? So I ended up creating a school program called Good Deed Tuesday. So now every Tuesday, these kids get to intentionally go to school and be kind of the students on a Tuesday, right? So we got lessons about empathy, gratitude, citizenship, and all of these words that really helps create and mold and shape a, a great person, right? So we really dissect these words and break it down in terms these kids can really understand what these words really mean and they can use it in their day-to-day life.
That's beautiful. That's an awesome, awesome story. I'm glad it's worked
Thank
out
you.
that
Thank
way
you.
for you, and then all the people that you have impacted, and all the people that they have impacted.
Packed it. Yep.
So,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
sure. How many presentations are you doing? How many schools are you involved with at this point?
Currently, we're right now in Gainesville. We have 5 schools currently in it. I'm about to get ready to start pushing it into the Boys and Girls Clubs in Broward County. And we're working with Broward County School Board as well.
So you get out to the schools on these Tuesdays and work next to the kids?
We have lessons that we've created. So what the teachers does, they do the day-to-day work with the kids, and then on Tuesdays now they get to emphasize being kind. I have assemblies as well. We get the kids to buy into Good Deed Tuesday or motivation pep rally to just uplift these kids, because sometimes these kids don't hear it enough. So for me to go in and spend my time with Good Deed Tuesday and share my story with them and give them positive, words and affirmation, it just uplifts these kids in different ways that it's just different.
Yeah, yeah. So we looked at a couple of examples on Instagram. So on Mr. Good Day Tuesday, there's a couple of recordings where, to put it mildly, you bring a little energy to the stage.
What's on this side? What's on this side? What's on this side? This out! This out! This out! This out! This out! This out!
You look like you're pretty fired up and get these kids fired up, and they're screaming loud, and you really get into it with them. And I would love to know where that energy comes from and what the outcome of it is, say when you're talking to kids afterwards, if they have a chance to come up and say hi or whatever.
So that energy, I mean, it comes from, me once being a kid and me sitting down in those rows, me being that same kid, like, right? So I know what it takes. I know what it feels like to give energy. So I would want that to be given to me. So for me, I go out there with the best energy that I have. I know what these kids like. They love to have fun, right? I love to have fun, right? You love to have fun, right? So what I do is I do things that they're used to having fun with. So I give them energy. I walk out there with music, right? I dance. I love dancing, right? So once they see all of that, they like, oh, he cool. You know what? We like him because of the energy you came out here and you gave us, right? And that's just the jump. And then I hit them with all my points of, what I've accomplished in life, right? And then the things I've lost in life, right? I take them on a roller coaster, right? And then I hit them with my message because I done got them to open up for me because we had fun. Now I'm giving you my vulnerability of the things I've been through, right? So now you buying into who I am as a person, no matter what age group you are, right? And then I hit them with a message, how important it is to be kind, right? What it takes to be kind, right? What's empathy, how do we empathize for each other, and then what this does for the kids, the response I've been getting back has been unbearable. It's been like crazy. The impact that Good Deed Tuesday is having on kids. The kids are like, they want more of this, right? It's because they can relate to this. They feel this, right? And what I want this to open up is that, like, we're all human, man. We all gonna make mistakes, but understand that, listen, as long as you kind to others, you don't know how you're able to change somebody's life, right? So that message sticks with these kids, and now it's like they want more of it, and that's what we want, because we want to push kindness. That's how you change the world.
Beautiful. Are most of the kids from, say, an underserved background?
Most of them are Title I schools, right? Is not, the funding isn't there, and it's just the environment is pretty rough. And guess what? I grew up in it, right? I understand it, right? I get it. So I could see both sides of the spectrum, So that's why this is so important to me, because I know I was that kid, right? But it's just football gave me a different, it gave me a different avenue. And good thing that I got really good at that, because it could have easily been me on the other side of that spectrum of, like, me not making it because of, the mistakes I made or just because of the environment I was in, So that's why this is right here is just so important, Like when something is really important for you and to you, it it makes you tap into something you don't even know you have.
Yeah.
I was a football player. I didn't know I'm able to do this stuff now.
Yeah, yeah. And I guess there's a message that comes across to the kids through your energy and enthusiasm that that's what they're going to need to bring if they're going to find their way to their best life, their destiny as they see it. Do you get reactions from the kids, a specific story, a specific kid that really touched your heart in response to what you were working on?
Well, yeah, I did have a kid come up to me and because she was battling suicide, like she's been battling and battling and battling and she was just like Major, like when you said that, I felt that. And with me telling her how I got through mines, it uplifted her, you know. And she messaged me too, even after we left there. She found my Instagram, she messaged me and she was just like, Major, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So I know that impacted that her in a way that it let her know that we all human, man. We all go through stuff. So I think that was one of the biggest ones because, there's no turning back once you do that. So it's just like being able to save someone's life is just, it's priceless.
That's a good feeling, huh?
Yeah, there's no better feeling.
What is some of the more specific messaging that comes into this? So before you really know the kids, and you want them to be kind, I get that. Is there a how-to?
In the assembly, it's not like we just give the kids the energy, right? And the how to is in the lessons where the teachers teach them, the teachers help them understand it and digest it and use it more often. But my assembly is more so introducing everything and letting them know about everything I've been through, right?
Mhm.
And then, hitting them with how we could be kind and how being kind helped change my life, giving them different point of views
Yeah,
of what being kind means, and what it could do to your life,
yeah,
because people don't really understand how being kind really impacts your life because if you're just this angry and uptight person, nobody wants to be around that, right? So it's like this energy could help shift and change a life, right? Because
mhm.
everybody wants to be around good energy. I don't care who you are. Everybody wants to be around good energy, something positive too.
Do you get to talk much with the teachers who are implementing your curriculum?
So I talk to the teachers first. So what I do before my school curriculum get into the schools, I have a meeting with all the staff, right? And I hit them with my message. I hit them with my story, right? Because I have to get them to buy into it. Because if they don't buy into it, there's no way that the kids gonna buy into it, right? So me letting them know that I'm trying to create a safer environment for them because my school curriculum isn't just for the kids. It helps hold a teachers accountable as well, right? You can't be a teacher pushing kindness, hearing about kindness and empathy and stuff and gratitude and stuff and not hold yourself accountable, right? So it's not just for kids. So this helps the school system. So that's why I have this meeting with the staff first, get them to buy into it because we all human, right? So I get them to buy into Good Deed Tuesday, and then it's their job to go out and make sure that they continue to help create that safer environment for the school, right? And that's what Good Deed Tuesday. That's why I have those meetings with the staff first.
Once your assembly is done, and once the teachers have maybe implemented some of the curriculum, do you get feedback as to what the kids' good
Oh
deeds
yeah,
were?
oh yeah. Well, you get like kids now, the bullying, it get
Mhm.
called out a lot more. Now you have more kids stepping up. saying, hey, we don't have to do this, and then you get kids being more helpful, right? You see somebody trip, they fall, they drop their books. Now kids are more like, hey, how can I help? Right? We had one incident where a kid didn't have lunch, right? And another kid shared their lunch. So it's that, and it's those things that we need to continue to push, right? To help create this safer environment and this great environment.
Now, Fit Kids has a lot of focus on physical activity as a way to a better life, as just kind of a underpinning of what is going to make you an effective person, impactful in community, able to take care of yourself, able to take care of others, which is where so much of your focus is. So I'm curious if there is a physical component, not necessarily exercising in the class, although that would be wonderful, but is there discussion even of you have to maintain your own physical, mental well-being before you can help anybody anyway?
In order for anything to be great, you have to, if everything starts with self, right? You got to look in the mirror, and first thing you see in the morning is yourself, right? And if you're not mentally there to help yourself, you can't be mentally there to help anybody else, right? And then on top of fitness, that, like, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. Health is so important to life, right? People understand that if you're healthy, right, you get to get that life, that long expanded life, that everybody hopes to live. But not being healthy, right, making these bad choices of eating the bad things, not working out, not moving, not being stiff, it could cost you, and it costs you in the long run. So health is so important to just life.
So Major, any last message, 30 seconds to 1 minute, that we can have you give to the kids out there?
I would say be consistent, in life. Even when things don't go the way you wanted to go, be consistent. Consistency is so important in anything. If you want to accomplish anything in life, it takes consistency. So make sure you're consistent in whatever it is that you do.
Beautiful. Give me your URL, your socials, any shout outs
Yeah.
that you want to give right now.
So you guys could go to gooddeedtuesday.com and go on. If you guys want to donate, it's a way that you guys can go on there and donate and help support, the cause. And then my social media is Mr. Good Deed Tuesday on Instagram. And my other Instagram page is Lil Made 21 as well on Instagram. Huge shout out to the Wright Way Foundation for making this impact and, continue to push positive into our communities. And then another shout out to you guys, Fit Kids. Thank you guys for having me. You guys continue to do great work, and thank you.
And thank you, Major. You've got an awesome story, a very impactful message, and I appreciate you spending time with us.
No problem. Thank you, Dave.